My goal is to shoot 2 today, so not quite, especially at the turn. But I hit some really nice shots. I felt like I didn't miss a shot on the par fives, and I played them even, which is really odd. It just, but a couple tough breaks in bunkers, but that's going to happen out here. So just would have missed a couple putts, around the turn on 9 and 10, and then second guessed a couple lines, and so I kind of felt like I lost a few on the greens that I had yesterday. I felt like I played as well or better than yesterday, but needed to really post a score. I mean, I understand a lot can happen at an Open, but 8 shots is a lot of shots to spot, a player who's playing really well.
You started in the sunshine, finished with the first bit of raindrops. Do you sense the conditions changing?
It got a lot colder. Our last 3 holes, temperature dropped a lot. That certainly makes the wind a little bit heavier, makes the course play a bit different. But, I mean, at this point, I was hoping that, that would continue. But regardless, I don't know how the scores show, but it seems like it was a pretty even draw on 2 days at the Open, which is very unusual. So you got some guys from each wave playing some good golf. And tomorrow it looks like it's going to rain most of the day, so that'll be a different element. I played most of my practice rounds in the rain. So at this point, fortunate that I did that.
In golfing terms, John, you've always come across as a guy who quite likes a fight, a scrap. That's what it could turn into over the weekend.
Yeah, I haven't looked ahead to Sunday, to be honest, but tomorrow could be a bit like that. Yeah, I think the wind's down a little bit tomorrow, but if it's going to be a grind, I'm certainly up for the challenge.
Jordan, did you see the memo on what they did with the bunkers? They kind of gave them a little bit.
Michael told me, but I mean, I'm not sure if it made much of a difference, to be honest.
Well, I guess that's compared to yesterday to today. Did you think it was a good move, and why did you think they needed to do it?
That's not really on me. I don't think I really hit it into a bunker yesterday, and so I didn't think much of it. But today, on 18, I guess technically it may have helped me be able to go forward versus backwards, but it was still one of those, I wasn't even planning on necessarily getting it out. So it's like I think the reason is because you have these downwind par fives where you can hit really, really nice shots into greens, the way that they ask you to play them, and then they can end up essentially maybe sometimes more than a full stroke penalty depending on where it ends up and you hit the right shot. So it makes sense. The end of the wind holes, it doesn't matter as much. The downwind holes, it makes a big difference because the ball will just continue to chase until it stops. And if you have just a little bit of an upslope or the ball comes back, just a couple inches from where it would have yesterday, that could mean getting it out of the bunker versus having to play backwards, or like Tony did yesterday on that one hole, and just that's a good example on a par 5. You saw some on 18 yesterday as well. I mean, that's where you're trying to hit it, I mean, it's I was 270 something yards away today, and I hit a 4-iron 5 yards left of the front edge of the green, and then I can't advance my ball more than a few feet out of the bunker. But that's the Open Championship, and these bunkers make this golf course. And I think it was a good move. I think the rain will make a big difference tomorrow. I think it'll make it more playable. Balls will bounce off and move more towards the middle ever so slightly, and you'll be able to get a little more club on the ball.
Are you, when you're trying to chase somebody down where Brian is right now, would you rather have what you presume the forecast is going to be, or would you rather have a much tougher conditions?
I think I'd rather have like a day like today where it can get 15 to 20 mile an hour winds more than anything else. I want the winds to sustain. It's hard to score if you have rain and wind, but if you just have wind, you can certainly do something. Rain just brings a whole nother factor. You can hit a really nice shot and just get water in between the face and the ball, and it's 30 yards right. It just happens. It's almost unpreventable in some cases. So I think that there will always be wind out here, and so if I can, post an under par round each of the next 2 days, it might be enough. But I think we'll just have to look at, what Brian will do. I mean, he's in control now. It's on him, and he's obviously fully. I watched some of his round. He's made a ton of putts. He's chipped in. he's done what you need to around here, hitting fairways and greens as well. That gives yourself those 20 footers, and you have enough of them, you're going to start holding them out here, and that's what he's doing.
Are you surprised to see one player so far clear the field for course conditions?
I would say if you ask me one tournament where somebody could be, there's probably 2 tournaments. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's 5+ clear in 2 rounds. It's the Open and the U.S. Open.
Why is it?
Just because of the carnage that, you just out here, you can have somebody that's holding a lot of putts, has a ball chip in or hit the pin. He had both of those today, which, and then at the U.S. Open, if you just have somebody that's just so on point and, shot 7 under one round, which are 6 under, the rest of the field could be pretty far back. I think it has to do with the difficulty of golf courses, but still yielding, if you have great control, you can still score. I mean, they've put pins in very difficult locations that if you don't have discipline, you can get in really tough spots within 20 feet of the hole. But if you're the other side 20 feet, you're looking at making birdie, and that's what he's done so well. I think, he continues to do that. It's hard to make up 8 shots having to birdie, but if the conditions get really tough and he's able to, and he drops a couple shots, then, you never, 36 holes is a long time, but personally, where I was at the turn, I was really looking at being at, 6 under or so, and really feeling a bit better about it right now.